Support for Jalen and Jacoby comes from Blue Apron. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh, perfectly portioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes so you can make incredible meals at home. Rediscover how fun cooking can be while reducing food waste and supporting sustainable farms and fisheries. Visit blueapron.com/Jalen to get your first 3 meals, a $30 value, free with free shipping.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Dell?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cold check-in.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We give the people what they want.
Let's give people what they want.
Shout out.
If the people wanted to see Russell Westbrook play basketball tonight, they didn't. Russell Westbrook is resting. Does that tell you that he thinks that he has the MVP award all sewn up?
I believe he's going to win the award. When these things happen each year, I'm glad that the media now will have their picks divulged. You're going to see a lot of people playing gimmicks. People voting for their local player that they get to follow. People voting for the player that they are able to text in their cell phone. People finding reasons to vote for players for whatever reason other than the fact that who's had the 2 best seasons and ultimately the best overall season in the league this year. James Harden led the league in double-doubles and assists, having an amazing year. The Houston Rockets are a top 3 seed. They're going to get a chance to play against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the playoffs to validate as such. But Russell Westbrook has had the historic season. And he literally dropped the mic these last couple of weeks with his performances. How about this? On the night where you passed the Big O in season high triple doubles for 42, you also passed Wilt Chamberlain in career high. And you also passed Wilt Chamberlain in a number of career triple doubles. You score 50. You hit a game-winning shot from about 35 feet with less than 2 seconds to go.
And just to take a team out of the playoffs. It was
to
perfect.
knock a team out of the playoffs.
It was perfect. I believe that Russell Westbrook does have the MVP award all sewn up. James Harden is making a couple, little strategic political moves. He's saying, I thought this was all about winning. I thought this was about winning. What do you make of James Harden's comments about winning in the award?
Well, winning plays a factor, but it's not the only one. You know, the award they give for the team that wins is the rankings for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And his team got a 3rd seed, which should give them a better opportunity to advance in the playoffs. You take everything into account, including a gentleman like Russell and James, who are both having historic seasons. Can't take anything away from neither performer, but clearly, from beginning to end, Russell Westbrook has had the stronger season.
Absolutely. What do you make of him resting? Does that bother you at all? I know you hate resting players, but can't you understand this one given the circumstances?
It's one of those things that's like this. Everybody joined Instagram, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get an account. Then I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm already on YouTube, Twitter. I'm like, do I really want to add something else? Facebook? I'm like, nah, not going to be able to do it. So when I look around the league, bad teams are tanking and resting guys. Mm-hmm. Good teams are resting guys when they're healthy. I'm not a fan in any way, shape, or form of players resting. I will not be apologetic for that, including Russell Westbrook. But just think about it this way. If there is a guy that has carried the heaviest burden of a basketball player all season, it actually has been him.
Thank you. The Cavs continue to slide and sort of fall apart and look like they're not the defending champions in the NBA. But after a 26-point blown lead that then goes to overtime, then they lose in overtime to the Hawks. Something interesting happened. LeBron James, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson went from Atlanta to Miami and partied at Live. Are you surprised that LeBron flew to the Fun?
I'm not surprised he flew to the Fun in this case because he used to live in Miami, therefore knows his way around, and he realized that it's the end of the season, so they probably wanted to enjoy themselves. But I just want to talk about the optics. For everybody out there, if you're going to miss work, you can't post yourself on Twitter or Instagram while partying.
That's a great point. It's a great
And
point.
so if you're going to go out and kick it on Sunday, you probably need to show up to ball on Monday. That's just kind of how this normally works.
He was resting.
And so when you don't show up to play, thus leads to more questions, now has somebody like Adam Silver saying, wait a minute, the biggest thing I need to address this offseason, not the hack-a-shack, is healthy players resting on contending teams and players resting on tanking teams. Because look deeper into the box scores these last couple of days. You're going to see guys with minor injuries like, oh, he's out because of a knee. Oh, he's out because of a back. Because now people have gotten more conscious in the fact that fans and media types have fought back against the term resting when you're healthy.
You mentioned a sore knee, and you'll never believe this. Carmelo Anthony has a sore knee and will not be playing in the final game of the New York Knicks' miserable 2016-17 season. I'm absolutely convinced that this will be the last game that he is on the New York Knicks roster. Do you agree?
No.
Really? You think he will start the season next year in a Knicks uniform?
Here's what you can't dismiss. He has a no-trade clause. And when that takes place in your contract, that means you're dictating where you go. So the team can call with moves to send you to 27 teams. And he can say, nope, nope, nope. Not going to be able to do it. 27 different times. So it's not just about moving him. It's moving him where he wants to go. And are the Clippers going to do what it takes to add a Carmelo Anthony? Even though they have so many free agents this year, it may be the best time to do it. Are the Cleveland Cavaliers, the way they've struggled toward the end of the season, and nobody except the Podfather went to sleep at night every day this season and felt like the Boston Celtics had a chance to be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference.
The Podfather.
I can't say that I saw that coming. So with that being said, if Melo's not with the Clippers, if he's not with the Cavs, I don't necessarily see where they can move him and or what team would want him, because there are teams that would not want him at this point of his career for whatever reasons.
I predict that he will be on one of those two teams next year. I'm almost positive. I'm also just trying to will it into existence because I'm so tired of the Carmelo Anthony era.
Well, if he's somewhere, he's going to be with the Clippers.
Clippers are the Cavs. Remember where you heard it first. Jalen Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
And we putting it on wax.
A gentleman that brought you to Ann Arbor, that ultimately brought you to this television program, has retired. What do you have to say about your former coach, Steve Fisher?
I love you, Steve Fisher. Congratulations on your retirement. Here's a person that coached Glenn Rice and company to a championship in 1989. We were fortunate that he recruited us to Ann Arbor, and we became the Fab Five and played in back-to-back title games. He also recruited and helped develop Kawhi Leonard, who's gone on to become an NBA All-Star. He's going to win his third Defensive Player of the Year this season. And the things that he's done for me are not just about basketball on the court. How about taking a guy who was a swing player in high school? I played with Voshon Leonard and Howard Isley in high school. Okay, they went on to not only start Minnesota and Boston College, but they also played over 10 years in the NBA. He took me from that situation, got me on campus in Ann Arbor, and said, you know what? I have a noble idea. Jalen's going to be the point guard. And I'm like, I am? I'm like, great. Let's do this. As a matter of fact, it's us against y'all. And so I will forever be grateful to Steve Fisher, his wife Angie, his son Mark, their entire family. They've been nothing but gracious to me. And he's going to enjoy his retirement, though he told me when I talked to him on the phone today, he's retiring from basketball, but not retiring for life. So Steve, I'll be up there to see you really soon. Dutch, good luck taking over the program. He's going to do a terrific job. He's been an ace recruiter, has been a coach in the waiting for a long time. You will see me rocking my SDSU gear and at some games. Believe that.
Here's one thing I know about you, Jalen Rose. If it's free, you wear it. It's that simple. It could be San Diego State University. It could be Michigan State. It doesn't matter. If it's free, you will wear it. Keep that in mind. Send some stuff to ESPN with Jalen's name on it. You will see it on his body.
Extra large. Extra large.
Jalen, when you fill up your car, which type of gas do you get? The cheap one, the regular one, or the expensive one?
Oh, I just got finished arguing with Molly about this. She gets the cheap gas, I get the premium.
I go cheap gas every single time. Every single time. Every time. There's no noticeable difference in the way the car runs. I'm convinced there's only one type of gas, and there's 3 different buttons for the same gas.
So here's my question for both of you. Like, you're only saving like 3 cents. It's not like you're saving $500.
That's a pretty good point. Jalen Rose. The Western Conference playoff matchups are locked in. Let's discuss them. First, we have the Warriors and the Blazers. What do you find most intriguing about this matchup?
Dame Dollar playing against his hometown team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Mama's Boys of the Blazers go against the Splash Brothers of the Warriors. Damian Lillard was Conference Player of the Month, is flanked alongside C.J. McCollum, and Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. That is what intrigues me, because when he plays against his hometown team, Dame Dollar does work. He's not intimidated in any way, shape, or form. I'm excited to see the matchup of 2 high-level backcourts, but the problem for the Blazers, I didn't mention Draymond Green.
No.
I didn't mention Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah, he's on that team, too.
I didn't mention Andre Iguodala.
No.
So while I'm excited about watching the backcourts go at it, I would not be surprised if the Golden State Warriors won in 5. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Dame has a 50-point game.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised either. Also, I think we'll have a couple C.J. McCollum sort of like spotlight moments as well, because he hasn't really shined in a playoff series the way that he can. I'm always waiting for like a center like Nurkic to sort of dominate the Warriors, but every time you think it's going to happen, they're just going to dump it into the post and get a mismatch. It never really works out. They play great team defense. Next, we have the San Antonio Spurs and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Go, Spurs, go!
I'm not going to lie. Not that excited about this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie into a microphone. This is the series in the Western Conference where I'm like, maybe I'll miss this one.
This is going to be a dogfight.
In what way?
Did I just surprise you with that?
A little bit.
No.
This is going to be a dogfight.
In what way? You think it's going to be a close series?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. Tell me why. I'm intrigued. You got me interested. Tell me
I'm
more.
going to tell you where to go.
Tell me more.
Tell you where to go. While one team clearly has, in my opinion, the second best overall player in the game in Kawhi Leonard, who I mentioned going to win his 3rd straight Defensive Player of the Year. LaMarcus Aldridge, happy to see him back in uniform. He's dealt with some health issues.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs having home court advantage is going to be a key.
They're well rested.
But as long as they can play Pau Gasol when teams don't go small, quality minutes, that gives them the edge. I'm watching Tony Parker's productivity. They're going to need him to play well. He can't just coast and allow Patty Mills to come in and outplay him every game, and they win this series, which they will win this series. But it's going to take them 6 or 7 games. Because on the other side, the Memphis Grizzlies, grit and grind, core 4, is still intact. Mm-hmm. If you have not been paying attention. This is a team that's beaten the Spurs, been swept by the Spurs, but they still keep coming back for more. David Fizdale has done a terrific job with this team.
Underrated Coach of the Year candidate, not spoken about enough.
No doubt. And as I mentioned, Gasol, Randolph, Crazy Glue, Tony Allen, and Mike Conley still play the majority of their quality minutes in crunch time. Vince Carter continues to make threes and do highlight reel plays seemingly every other game. So while on paper it may look like it's going to be a landslide for the Spurs, look forward to a lot of 85, 82 games, 93, 89 games. The team that gets to 100 first in this series will win each game.
Lawler's Law. Now we have the Rockets and the Thunder. How do you see this one playing out?
The three-point shot is crucial for the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
They have so many guys that can spread the floor and actually make them around James Harden. And here's a teachable moment for everybody. Because I looked this up like, man, this dude James Harden get a chance to turn the corner.
Wait. You looked something up?
I had to. What? I had to get in my scout mode.
What happened?
And I looked up the players who have made the most three-point shots from at least 2 or 3 feet beyond the three-point line.
Huh, interesting.
And Steph Curry's one of those players in the NBA.
Of course.
You know the other two?
Yes.
Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson. And the reason why I bring this up is because then you have to make a choice. Are we stopping James Harden's penetration? Or are we going to allow him to turn the corner and throw the lob over the top to Capella or get into the paint? With those issues and Trevor Ariza's ability to play on both ends, who gets overlooked in the whole Houston dynamic. He's their second most important player, actually. I think because of that onslaught that they can do from the three-point line in flurries, it's going to overwhelm the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are a poor three-point shooting team overall. However, they will have this year's MVP in Russell Westbrook. They have a lot of big bodies that play closer to the paint. They don't really use a stretch four. Cantor, Taj Gibson, man that position. Sabonis is going to play some quality minutes there. We know about Adams playing the 5. I just think because Harden's going to lose the MVP to Westbrook, and the Rockets have so many players that could get you 20-plus points, and I didn't even mention Lou Williams, don't be surprised if this series possibly, if they get going, can be ended in 5.
I think this is a 5-game series. I see it going the Rockets' way. Yeah. I'm curious about you seeing the Grizzlies going to 6. I could see that happening as well. And then finally we get to a pretty good, well-contested matchup, and this is going to be between the Clippers and the Jazz. I have the Clippers winning this series pretty easily. How do you see it playing out?
Who has home court?
It's undecided at this point.
I want to disagree, but the Clippers will find a way to advance. They have Chris Paul, who didn't make this year's All-Star game, won't be an All-NBA performer, has a lot to prove come playoff time. Know he wants to find a way to get to his first conference finals. Blake Griffin, both of those guys, will this be their last year playing together? I automatically think that they're going to lose J.J. Redick this offseason just based on the dynamics that Jamal Crawford and Austin Rivers, his substitutes, make just as much, if not more, money than he does. So that turns the roster dynamic upside down. So, yes, I'm with you. The Clippers find a way to advance in 6.
Are the Clippers for real?
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Oh, Jalen Rose, it's happening. We have statue news. As the senior statue analyst, not just at ESPN, but in the world, when I saw this news, I needed to get your expert opinion. There's a theater in Georgia that is celebrates Tupac's name and life, and they had a statue there before. However, the statue was then brought back by the Shakur family, and it no longer stands there. The previous statue was Tupac Shakur, is that the right way to say it? Tupac Shakur, standing there, wearing like a suit. The new one, which they're replacing it with, looks like what, Mr. Rose?
It's more of a depiction of what he represented for public consumption. It's basically the outfit where he's rocking that cold Red Wings jersey, and he had the red bandana tied on the top of his head. That's the Pac the fans knew and loved. They could appreciate him rocking a suit, and I can understand where they were hoping to go with that. But if you're going to do a statue of someone that's been immortalized, and rightfully so, like the late, great Tupac Shakur, it must be a depiction of how we remember, love, adore, and appreciated him. The family got this one right by sending it back. I just hope that it's outdoors.
It is. It's an outdoor statue.
Okay, great.
It's an outdoor statue. I don't understand how a statue of Tupac was created with him with the suit on. I cannot think of a single event that I saw Tupac wearing a suit. Perhaps an all-red suit, but I have never seen Tupac in a suit. That is not, when I close my eyes and envision Tupac, I do not picture him dressed up like he's doing a news conference.
Maybe he was the creators of that most recent Pepsi commercial.
Lance Stevenson is back on the Pacers. He's loving life, and he did something on the internet that I found absolutely fascinating. His teammate filmed Lance Stevenson with an apple in his hands, Jalen. He took the apple into his hands and then ripped it in half. What? Do you think you could do that?
He ripped it in half or he hit it?
No, he took it in his hands just like this, twisted it, and ripped it in half. I've been trying to do it with this apple. I cannot. I cannot do it, not even close.
Where's he from?
He is from Coney Island, Brooklyn, sir.
So it's only right he knows how to turn a big apple into cider.
Oh, well done, Jalen Rose. I'm not that strong, but that's not going to stop me from trying to match Lance Stevenson and break this apple with my bare hands. I saw his technique. It involved like a twist. Do you think I will be able to do this?
You should try it with your head.
I will. Let me try this first. I'm trying as hard as I can. Not even close.
You look like you're trying to have your first kid.
That didn't work either. And it would be my fourth kid. Now my head hurts.
No, I said it right. Look like you're trying to have your first kid.
I know. There was a story that needs to be discussed here on Jalen Jacoby. Of course, we're going to tell you about Tony Romo. Of course, we're going to talk about the NBA playoff seedings. Of course, we're going to talk about all the stuff you hear everybody else talk about. But when you come to Jalen Jacoby, you get stories like this.
We're not forcing no football topics.
There's an aspiring Australian rapper who is hungry. His name is Tupac. Tupac sat down at a very nice seafood restaurant. Do you know what Tupac ordered? 2 lobster dishes, 21 oyster shooters, baby octopus, and very many alcoholic beverages. The tally came to $621. Do you know what Tupac did then? He just straight up ran into the ocean and decided not to pay it. When the police caught him, they needed to use jet skis because he refused to come out of the water. When the police caught up to Tupac, he said that he did not pay for the dinner because, you'll never believe this, the lobster was overdone.
What?
I've seen you eat a lot of lobster. You always ask for it to be prepared in what way?
Grill well done.
And I've seen about 50% of the lobsters they put in front of you. What do you do with them?
Send them back.
Send them back. So in your opinion, can a lobster ever be overdone?
No, because here's what happens. They tell you it's going to be 8 ounces, but then when you get it well done, it gets on your plate, it looks like 3. And they don't want to be walking through the restaurant with a 3-ounce lobster so every other person at the restaurant can see.
Okay.
That's really what that's all about.
Okay.
From a guy that eats lobster everywhere he goes. I figured this out. Okay, that's not an attractive thing.
You must learn.
Now, a couple of things I have to stress. How well can this guy swim?
He must have been out there for a while.
Yeah, Aquaman?
I think Australians are really good swimmers in general. I know I'm generalizing here, but I'm going to say all Australians are really good swimmers.
That is a generalization.
Of course.
And also, man, so he runs and jumps in the water. They have to go call the police. They have to come, realize they can't get to him, and then get on jet skis.
At that point, you just give it up, Tupac. Just give it up. I think there are a lot of beverages. I think there's a lot of focus on the lobsters that he ordered, but something tells me that when you get the bill, the alcohol is always the most expensive stuff. Some tells me he had a few. Some tells me he had a few before he went for that swim.
But also, as an entertainer, you got to always remember, if he pays the bill, we're not having this conversation.
It's a great point. When was the last time that you left a restaurant without paying? Don't act like you've never done this in your life, Jalen.
When I was in college, that's when Denny started to get a bad rap by a lot of minorities based on the treatment that they felt when they attended their restaurants.
Oh, sounds like you're justifying something. Continue.
And since I was more of a Bob Evans guy, I'm like, you know what? All right, y'all want to go to Denny's? All right, cool. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and stroll on out of here.
You did it for justice, though. You did it for social justice.
No big deal.
You did it for social justice.
No big deal.
That was more of a political statement than it was just you skipping out on a bill.
Fight the power.
One of my very first dates with my wife, she didn't have any money and I didn't have enough money to pay, and we left a California pizza kitchen and ran through the 3rd Street Promenade. And here we are, 15 years later, with 3 children, married. That's when I learned she was really fast.
No, that's when you learn I need to marry her.
she's great. She was so scared.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about all relationships and friendships. At some point, they start to bleed into, man, this person knows a lot of things about me.
So she's basically saying that most long relationships are just extortion. Just long, all close relationships between humans are built on extortion. That's kind of how it works. I completely understand that. The scientists were studying sort of the relationship between dinosaurs and birds. The more they learn about dinosaurs, the more they're learning that dinosaurs are more like birds than they are lizards. A lot of dinosaurs we assume to be scaled were actually sort of feathered. The velociraptor comes to mind as a dinosaur that was potentially feathered, or a mixture of feather and scales. While they're doing this sort of genetic exploration, some of their testing involves chickens. Scientists accidentally put a dinosaur snout on a chicken in real life. Will genetic exploration lead to the end of the human species because we will be taken over by hybrid monsters?
I was following this archaeology, and then I decided I missed science class that day. So I'm not with you. I'm not rolling. All of this went over my head.
Okay.
And
do you know what archaeology is?
And also don't mess with my chicken.
Nope.
You know, you've never seen me upset. Don't mess with my chicken.
That's fair.
Shout out.
Jalen Rose, let's play soft move or boss move. Are you ready?
Yes, indeed.
Sergio Garcia won his first Masters. They don't give you a trophy there. You get a green blazer. He is engaged to be married. And he is now hinting that he may wear his green Masters blazer to his own wedding.
What?
Wearing your Masters blazer to your own wedding, soft move or boss move?
Perfect timing, best of both worlds. Boss move, no doubt.
Soft move, no doubt. No, so, okay, let me make my case first. How about that? People don't care what you wear. It's about the bride. Anything that you wear, anything that you do that takes any attention away from the bride, specifically fashion attention away from the bride, then you are making a mistake. Yep. You do not want the wedding to be about what the groom wore. The wedding is about what the bride wore. Why is it a boss move, Mr. Rose?
You just said it. Nobody cares what he's wearing anyway. You answered your own statement.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work, Jalen.
He has on a green jacket that he got playing golf. It's not like it's something that he went out and spent thousands of dollars for. Her dress is still going to, I'm pretty sure, be fabulous.
I'm sure
it won't take away from it at all. Best of both worlds. Boss move.
Wear it to the rehearsal dinner. That's a boss move. The Mavs are honoring Tony Romo by putting him in a Mavericks uniform and making him a Maverick for the day. He's playing in practice. He's got the uniform. He's got the practice stuff. Soft move or boss move, honoring Tony Romo by making him a Maverick?
I refuse to talk about Tony Romo. Soft move.
Soft move. Next, in the city of Houston, there's something called a sky pool. There is a brand new apartment complex that 500 feet above the street below, there is a translucent pool that you can stand in and look down, and you are simultaneously in a pool and floating in the sky, looking down at the ground 500 feet below. What? Swimming in the sky pool, soft move or boss move?
Too close to death. Soft move.
What? Oh, I disagree. I think it's a boss move. Yep. Floating in the air and also floating in the water at the same time?
Jacoby, it just represents our cultural differences, I promise you.
I don't know what you mean by that, Mr. Rose. I don't see race. T.I. attended Tupac's inauguration into what I believe is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, dressed as Tupac once did, with what I can only describe as a leather corset and suspenders. Dressing up as Tupac in a leather corset. Soft move or boss move?
In honor of the late, great Tupac Shakur. It's not like he just wore it Saturday night out to the club. Boss move. You got to be confident in yourself to pay homage to others.
You saved yourself at the end there. See, I think it's a soft move, Jalen. Let me explain. Dressing as Tupac in honor of Tupac while Tupac is being honored, boss move. But of all the Tupac outfits that you could possibly pick, why do you pick the one that kind of looks like lingerie? That's all I have to say. Like, it kind of looks like gangster lingerie. Gangster lingerie is a soft move. That's all I have to say about that. I love this one. See, soft move and boss move really works when you're just right in the middle. When it can just easily go either way. And you can tell today that we've got a couple that we've disagreed on. And I really want to get your take on this one. Mariah Carey, legendary recording artist. Was dating a billionaire, no longer doing that, now dating a regular dude. And she gives this regular dude $25,000 a month. Do you know what she gives him $25,000 a month to do? She gives him a $25,000 monthly budget to buy Mariah Carey presents. Giving your boyfriend $25,000 a month to buy you presents. Soft move or boss move?
Soft move.
Oh,
that's too controlling.
Yep.
Control!
You don't think that's a boss move?
No, you're demeaning me.
Yep. Oh, no. She just wants presents. She's just like, hey, go. You know what? You can spend $22,000 this month and just keep the extra $3,000 for yourself.
How about this? Here's the boss move. Give me $50,000 and I'll shop $25,000 each for both of us.
That's a boss move. I just think it's a boss move to give your significant other a present budget. It's just like, here, buy me some things. I don't want to pick them out myself. You just buy me lots of luxurious things.
No, the boss move is for you to give me money to buy both of us things, not just you.
That's fair. DeMarcus Cousins, also known as
Boogie!
He was caught by some TMZ cameras, and TMZ Sports has him. They ask him some questions about whatever's hot at the moment, and of course he starts asking about the Ball brothers. He says, Lonzo Ball. Boogie Cousins claims to have no idea who Lonzo Ball is, yet said that LeVar Ball was a legend. Claiming you don't know who Lonzo Ball is. What? Soft move or boss move?
I got you on this one. We ain't gonna disagree on this one. Even if you feel one way, I think I might be able to sway you right here. I
like your confidence. I'm all ears.
How many times do you want to talk about LeVar Ball's comments on this show?
Never a clock.
What Boogie said, boss move.
I always like it when people look directly into cameras and microphones and just brazenly lie. It's kind of a boss move just to be like, no, I've never heard of this person. I have no idea who Lonzo Ball is. Huh? The Balls, never heard of them. And then to acknowledge that the dad is a legend, but you've never heard of the son, which is the whole reason we know the dad is a legend. It's a boss move. I agree. Finally, the Manny Pack. There is a carbon fiber fanny pack that is for men. It does these things. Oh, your phone's running out of batteries? Manny Pack charges your phone.
Soft move.
Guess what else? It keeps your beer cold.
Soft move.
The Manny Pack that charges
Drink
your phone.
Beer. Soft
move. Keeps your beer cold. Soft move or boss move?
Anything that keeps your beer cold, if it's not a cooler or a refrigerator, soft move.
Wait a second. We might have a problem here, Jalen. Beer koozie. Soft move or boss move?
I dreamed growing up one day that I would make it to the NBA. And I was like, yo, I'm going to have a jacuzzi and fill it with 40 ounces. And I didn't realize this until I made it to the league. Like, wait a minute, you can't put all of that glass in there. It's going to break.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I brought up beer koozies. You thought I was referencing a jacuzzi that would be filled with beer. While an excellent idea, Mr. Rose, that I fully support, that is not what a beer koozie is. And then we just did a quick poll of the employees and our colleagues and friends here at the Jalen and Jacoby staff. There's probably about 7 people here. You'll never believe this. All of the black people didn't know what a beer koozie was.
Nope.
Are you sitting here right now, staring right at me, saying you have no idea what a beer koozie is?
Yep.
You my brother, but there's a reason why it's from another mother. We're going to have cultural differences. When you were loving New Kids on the Block, I was loving New Edition. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
Jalen, have you ever seen a can of beer?
Is that a trick question?
No, I'm not done. That someone has put into a sort of like foamy styrofoam kind of handle so the heat from your hand does not cool the beer. Have you ever seen one of those? Usually with like a restaurant logo on it or something. That, my friend, is a beer koozie. Are you familiar with the concept of a beer koozie?
I usually see those taking place at a time when I'm a minority, and it's usually like at a tailgate or a ball game.
Jalen, you're always a minority. Before we get fired, let's move on. We've got some power couple updates. We love power couples here at Jalen Jacoby. We just got some power couple news. I'll rattle them off really quickly. You give me a quick response. The Migos Quavo has been seen and is possibly dating notable Chris Brown ex Karrueche Tran.
What?
Your thoughts on this potential power couple?
I don't know if that's tricky. You know how I am about talking to somebody else's current and or ex.
That puts you in a position. Chris Brown is very, how do I call, protective over his ex-girlfriend.
Hey, you know what? I'm rolling with Chris Brown on this one.
Yeah, me too. Me too. There's a lot of ladies out there, Quavo. You don't got to go to my ex.
Right, right.
Christina Milian and Jets running back Brandon Wilds are dating. I have to admit something. I have to make a confession.
You had to look up who Brandon Wilds was?
First time I've ever heard of Brandon Wilds in my life. I was like, shout to him, though. Good for him. Good for him. I wish them the best. And I wish the Jets get a couple wins this year. Janet Jackson and her billionaire Qatari baby daddy are getting divorced. Just a mere couple months ever since they had their child.
What?
I love Janet Jackson. There are a few people in my life that I don't personally know that I will not allow people to slander. She's one.
Really?
Yep.
Don't ever say nothing about Janet Jackson around me.
Did you turn on Justin Timberlake after the Super Bowl controversy?
No, I thanked him.
You're the best. So, if you're a member of the New York Giants, you could see how some social media posts can become problematic. All you have to do is think back to the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs. What did the Giants receiving corps do?
They flew to the fun. Number one, no, especially when you live in New York City. That's another subject for another day. Hung out at Live, woke up the next day, was on a boat with the same outfits they had on at the club the night before. Being photographed the week of a playoff game, and that then led to them ultimately losing later that week.
So now their teammate Jonathan Casillas is down in the Dominican Republic having a vacation. I've vacationed there before. It is an excellent island and
I need a vacation.
Great time down there. He's down there having a great time himself. He's on top of an ATV. He's got his shirt off, tattoos everywhere. And in the caption of this picture that he posted on Instagram, he describes what he is smoking as a hand-rolled cigar in the Dominican Republic. Well, I don't think I'm the only person that was a little skeptical about the hand-rolled cigar that he was smoking on the internet, because the NFL then decided that they would give him a random drug test. Why do you think Jonathan Casillas is uploading photos of himself smoking what could be construed as a marijuana blunt?
I'm going to take the NFL perspective from this one.
Okay.
This is not a soft move by him. It's not a boss move by the NFL. It's a power move. You're actually paying attention to the 1,300 people that you're paying checks to play football. And when one posts something that you think is suspicious, you're watching, you're paying attention, you're sending a text. He immediately got drug tested, and I hope he passes.
I hope he passes too. But if you are, let's say, the other 1,299 players in the NFL and you see that this is happening, you become a lot more careful about what you post on social media. Yeah. It is a bit of a power move. Jalen, do you put any stock in the jersey sales in the NBA? Because they put this list out every year at the end of the season. This is the most sold jerseys. I'm sure that you've seen this list. I'm also sure that you haven't memorized this list. But if you were just guessing off the top of your head, who do you think sold the most jerseys in the NBA this season?
Oh, so you're going to tiptoe around it like I ain't never been on that list? Okay, it's all good. Anyway.
First of all, I'm shocked that you were on that list once.
Yep. Anyway,
did they do your
research, everybody on this show.
Did they do the top 50 or the top 15 that year? Just saying.
Do your research, everybody on the program.
First of all, you know that we don't do any research on this program.
Correct. Nope. It definitely means something when you have the number one jersey sold in the NBA. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a big deal. It says a lot about not only your performance, but also your popularity. You're the most popular player in the game.
Steph Curry leads the league in jersey sales, followed by LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, then Kyrie Irving, which I find interesting, Kawhi Leonard, and then you get Kristaps Porzingis, which is just the Knicks market, and the Knicks colors look good. One thing I did find interesting was the team merchandise sales. They also give out this list. Now, I know you haven't seen this list. Who would you guess has sold the most team merchandise this season, and in what order? See if you can get the top 4. There's one tricky one at number 3. Hint.
The Lakers?
Nope. Lakers are in the top 4. I'll give you that. They're number 4. This would be like Family Feud.
Golden State.
Number 1.
The Cavs.
Number 2.
How about, I'm just thinking, how about the Clippers?
The Clippers are not even in the top 10, but number 3 is interesting, the Chicago Bulls.
What? And just so you know, don't sleep on that fan base and that market. I was fortunate enough to have a high-level ranking on that list when I was a member of that team. Made sense to me.
2003, Jalen Rose had the 14th most popular jersey in the NBA. Congratulations, Mr. Rose. You know what makes it just like a little bit sweeter? Guess who's at number 19? You're at 14. Guess who's at 19?
Who?
Chris Webber. There's a lot that gets discussed in sports media. Not all of it is worthy of discussion. So in this segment, I tee up a topic for Jalen Rose. If it's worthy of discussion, we hit the brakes. If it's not, we simply keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Jalen Rose, are you ready?
Let's get it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo became the first player in recorded history to finish in the top 20 in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
Hit the brakes. He deserves to be the most valuable player in the league this year.
What?
And this is my criteria. What? Here's a guy that was not in last year's All-Star game, that was a starter in this year's All-Star game, and achieved the feat you just described.
So you're calling Giannis Antetokounmpo the most valuable player in the National Basketball Association?
Most improved, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's why he had me there. I was like, Jalen, they're going to take your vote away.
Most improved.
They're going to burn the ballot when it comes. I believe he will be the most improved player. That would be a very smart vote. Yeah. This is the first season in the last 46 NBA seasons without a single coach being fired.
What?
Hit the brakes or keep it moving?
Paying them a lot more money. Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
There are rumors that Marshawn Lynch is interested in joining the Patriots.
What?
Keep it moving. No forced football topics on this program.
Barcelona's Neymar is going to miss El Clasico after being hit with a 3-game ban.
Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Defensive end Deion Jordan reached a deal with the Seahawks.
Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
I watched a video of a gentleman getting his hair cut at the barbershop today. The barber,
hit the brakes.
The barber was not using scissors to cut this man's hair. He was not using clippers to cut this man's hair. He had an axe to the side of his head, and they would hit the axe with a hammer to shear the hair off of this gentleman's head.
What?
Will you be allowing a barber to cut your hair with an axe and a hammer next time you go to the barber?
Who was this barber? Jason Voorhees?
It looked a lot like that. You'll never believe it, Jalen. I think they were white people.
Yep.
No.
Pirates fans can now play Super Mario Brothers on the
Keep it
new
moving.
right field. What?
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
A dead bat was found inside of a package of salad in Florida.
Hit the brakes.
Oh, I like this. Anything can happen in Florida, man. Anything can happen in Florida.
Yep.
I remember I went to Top Hat one time on James Cousins and Puritan, and that's classic Detroit, by the way. It's a different version of White Castle for those that probably heard of that, which is more popular.
White Castle fries only come in one size.
Walked about 5 or 6 blocks back to my street, bit into the burger. It had a nickel in it.
Oh!
What?
But let me tell you what's funny. I had horrible teeth, so my teeth were already cracked and chipped. So I went back to Top Hat and tried to act like that's how it happened.
I like it.
They weren't buying it.
I bet you this whole story. I'm imagining you like 16, but you're probably like 3. Being like, I got a nickel. Look what happened.
I'm like, yo, I chipped my tooth. Look, it cracked my tooth. They're like, man, take these 2 hamburgers and get out of here.
They gave you 2 free hamburgers, though.
They did.
Not bad. And you got 5 cents off. Martha Stewart is being blamed for jinxing Michael Pineda's perfect game.
What?
Keep it moving.
Oh, come on.
All right, hit the brakes.
I really just want to ask this question. Who's Martha Stewart?
She had a show with Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
I love doing this show with you so much. You're correct. Martha Stewart is best known for her show with Snoop Dogg. Whew. Former Red Wing Bob Probert's ashes are being sprinkled in the penalty box at Joe Louis Arena.
Not to disparage anyone in any way, shape, or form. That's why 100 years from now, bury me. I don't want people to be making decisions with my ashes. I'm good.
Nope.
Soft move or boss move? Getting cremated.
Soft move.
I'll just leave that one up. It's really just do whatever people want to do with themselves. At that point, you can do whatever you want. Continuing on, Mr. Rose. A study says that a single social media post from Beyonce can be worth $1 million in advertising.
That's a lot of money.
Can we hit the brakes just because it's Beyonce?
That's Jay-Z's wife.
Oh, yeah.
You can hit the brakes.
That's fine. There's a new teaser trailer out for the Thor movie, the latest in the series of the Avengers.
Yep.
Jalen, wake up. Thor. Do you know who's Thor?
Oh,
Do you know
keep
who
it
Thor is?
moving.
Oh,
We be moving,
okay.
you know, we keep it moving.
Have you seen a single Avengers movie? Probably like the most highest grossing franchise in the history of films. Have you seen a single one? Not even on an airplane. You fly like 6 times a week. Never once be like, let me check out this Avengers movie. Never once.
Where's the remote? Doop.
Never ever once have you seen a single Avengers movie.
No, you can have Star Wars and Avengers playing back to back for free, and I'll go see Above the Rim and B Street.
Can you name a single Avenger?
I can. Captain America.
Well done, Mr. Rose. You only know that one because he has a statue. That's what it is. Anybody that has a statue, Jalen Rose knows about.
Yep.
Okay. Next. Lance
I'm a
Stevenson.
grown man. I ain't about to be paying to go watch no cartoons.
Lance Stevenson can break an apple with his hands. Hit the brakes or keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
We be moving, you
Oh,
know, we
come on,
keep it
Jalen.
moving.
Right now, we're going to keep it moving and open up our 1-800-FLOWERS Twitter feed. Take some questions from our audience. Send your questions to @Jalen and Jacoby. First question that we have is from Spookly Carmichael. Spookly wants to know, Jalen, please share your skincare secrets. Great skin. Great skin.
Well, my skin, this is the best it's ever been in its life, for whatever it's worth.
Okay.
And all I do is actually wash my face.
Great job. Wash your face. Jalen Rose's skincare secrets. Next one is from JT. JT wants to know if you would rather have a street named after you or a statue.
Man, the statue can't be on my street?
Nope, you got to pick. Street named after you or a statue.
Let me see. MLK has
He's got
streets
everywhere.
named after him.
A lot of streets. Yep. He's got
But
statues,
95% of the time, they probably are in not so pleasant neighborhoods, for whatever it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Statue.
I'm going statue with that one, too. Jalen Rose. This one's from Rule. What jersey would you hang first? The Michigan Wolverine number 5 or the Pacers number 5?
Michigan. No question about it.
Michigan over the Pacers. Why is that, Mr. Rose?
I played 3 years at Michigan. I played 6 years in Indiana.
Okay. That doesn't make any sense.
It does. I played 3 of my 3 collegiate years for them.
Copy.
Played 6 of my 13 years with them.
That's very fair.
Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow.
Did you just do that? You call 985-80 Jalen. You leave us voicemails. We listen to the voicemails, pick the best ones, and play them just like this.
Yo, Jalen and Jacoby, big fan. Ian from Nashville here. Question: I just saw Steve Fisher retired. Jalen, what's your best story from him? All right, give it to people what they want.
Thanks so much for the call, Ian. I love when people ask these kind of questions because I get to watch Jalen try to remember things. Your best Steve Fisher story, Jalen.
Man.
That's the sound of Jalen trying to remember things.
Well, actually, one of my favorite Steve Fisher stories that he wouldn't consider it being such is when we got caught jumping out of the cab in Europe. Just having to see him get out of his bed at 1, 2 in the morning and come to the hotel lobby in another country. The look on his face when we were about to play against Rice and we snapped off our warm-up pants and we're wearing black socks was another look.
One of my favorites is that he told you guys you would be on the Cosby Show. You're so excited to be on the Cosby Show because you won a game, and you were never, ever, ever even remotely discussed to appear on the Cosby Show.
That's very nice.
That's doing anything you can take to win. Like, I will just straight up lie to the people that trust me. The people that look at me like a father figure, I will look them right in the face and lie. Because I'm trying to get this win. Anything for motivation.
That was hilarious.
Thanks so much for the shout,
Absolutely.
Ian. Remember, you call 985-80 Jalen, leave a voicemail. Ladies, we're looking for your calls for tomorrow's show. Wednesday is Woman Crush Wednesday, every Wednesday here on Jalen Jacoby on ESPN Radio. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
I got a question. I know baseball isn't really y'all's thing, but could you do something like maybe once a month, do like a little baseball preview, like what's going on in the world? Because people want it, and I'm a person, and that would be great. All right, deuces, guys.
Thank you so much for the call. They always get us when they say that they're a person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we always give the people what they want. They make a request, then they establish themselves as a person. And it really pigeonholes us into kind of doing whatever they want. Yeah. It's not that baseball isn't our thing. Both Jalen and I love baseball. I love the sport of baseball. I can watch the battle between a pitcher and an individual batter and the pitch locations and selection. I love the game within the game and all of that stuff. It's a 162 game season, you know, like it's a long haul to get through the entire baseball season. So we do not cover it with the sort of passion that we do the NFL and the NBA because those are shorter seasons and everything seems more important. Your thoughts, Mr. Ross?
Amongst other reasons, for many years I actually carried a bat to work. I like baseball. As a lefty, Wanted to hit like Barry Bonds, didn't have the power. Thought I could hit like Ken Griffey Jr., wasn't smooth enough. So in wiffle ball, fast pitch tennis ball in particular, because trying to play hardball and getting hit with it a couple of times by neighborhood dudes that think that they're Josh Gibson, you want to go pop the trunk. But I didn't have the ability because I was a young athlete. So I settled in my own ego between being a cross between Tony Gwynn and Rod Carew. You know what I mean? We like baseball, but here's the thing.
Why did you only name black baseball players?
Because those were my favorites.
Okay.
Pete Rose was right-handed. So were George Brett. I like those guys too.
Okay.
With that being said, the sport of baseball doesn't necessarily give us intriguing storylines that don't relate to a local audience or a regional following. Usually, national networks like ours only talk about baseball when the major markets are good, in particular the Yankees. That's the funnest thing for me being a Detroit Tigers fan is I ain't heard nothing from Yankee fans the last few years. All of a sudden, when they good, it's like, hey, we talk about the Yankees all day. But big shout to the Cubs and Theo Epstein for what he's done, turn around that team, and Joe Madden bringing him in from Florida. We'll get to some baseball talk as the season progresses. Maybe I need to get my dude Adam Jones on the show. I'm a fan of his.
Thanks so much for the call. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen? Anthony calling here from the Inland Empire. And so we all know that Jacoby is a well-known cyclist commuter. So my question to you, Jacoby, is when you're riding your bike, please tell me that you ride on the sidewalk and that you're not one of those guys who think they can take up a lane in the road. Thank you, guys. Keep getting them checks. Keep giving the people what they want.
First of all, I'm never riding on the sidewalk. I'm never, ever riding on the sidewalk. The sidewalk is for pedestrians. That is a pedestrian place. They're going very slowly. They come out of doors. Too many variables. I'm going to be in the streets. That is where I am supposed to be. I'm also a frequent user of bike lanes, and I'm a very considerate cyclist. I spent my formative years in New York City where it's illegal to ride on the sidewalks. So that is how I developed that. And I also developed, if you ride your bike in traffic enough, you have a spidey sense. You can anticipate other people's mistakes. You know how to look in rearview mirrors to make sure someone's not about to open their car door. I'm a very considerate cyclist, very communicative cyclist. I'm always considerate of traffic, and I use hand signals to let everybody know which way I'm going, this way or that way. And I just need that same respect from you, the automobile driver. That's all I want from you. And I'm not going to go on the sidewalk, but I do love the Inland Empire. Thank you so much for the call. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Jalen and Jacoby, what's going on? This is Gary from the 203 on the check-in. Shout out. I got a boss move or soft move question for you guys. Vanity plates, boss move or soft move? And have either of you guys ever had vanity plates? Something with the Jacoby on the minivan or maybe a little J. Rose on the Maybach. Keep on giving the people what they want.
Okay.
Oh, I know about my whips. Hold on
a second.
Gotta make some changes
There
in
were
life.
so many things I love about that. He didn't identify where it's from. He just gave the area code, which I believe is Connecticut, I want to say. Yep. Okay. Secondly, he then went with a reference that I thought only the people that work on this program. I did not think there was a single human being on the planet that does not work on this program that enjoys the drop you're about to hear. Okay, y'all play the shout-out drop all the time when we're doing this show, and when I request it, just crickets.
Shout out.
Will you please? There it is. Play it again.
Shout out.
This was a caller from either Sweden or Switzerland. We've argued about it at length, and he said the word shout out. The production staff clipped it off, and now they play it incessantly. It's constantly burning in my brain, and it's littered all over every one of our programs. I secretly hate it, but it's an ongoing running joke with the staff.
Shout out.
And thirdly, what I really love about this is when someone brings a soft move or boss move question. And this is an excellent Perfectly tailored soft move or boss move question because both sides could be argued very well. It is not clearly a soft move or a boss move. I'm going to go on wax and say I think vanity plates are a soft move. I would never, ever, ever get vanity plates. Your thoughts, Mr. Rose?
It's a boss move. I'll tell you why. Because that's the origin of where it started. It's progressed a lot over the years, but let me give you an example. In particular, for those that are fortunate enough to collect vehicles. Say you got an old school Lincoln or Mustang. You go name the vehicle.
Who are you talking about, Jay Leno? Who's got a collection of vehicles?
I'm just saying. A lot of times when you have collections of vehicles, you'll give them a signature plate, usually.
Have you ever had a signature
antique plate?
Have you ever had a signature plate?
No.
Never in your life?
No.
If you had to get a signature... See, here's one thing I know about Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose doesn't want people to know he's Jalen Rose. You're not trying to drive down the street with a car that says J Rose on it. You're trying to drive down the street and have no one know that you're there. And that's
so much so I'll just take an Uber.
Yeah,
that's why I just take an Uber.
Yeah, I'm just taking an Uber. Forget that. I don't want anyone to be able to immediately recognize my vehicle. I don't want that. I don't want vanity plates. If I did have vanity plates, what would I put on it? Probably minivan.
Jacoby,
man.
I gotta tell you a secret.
What's that?
When you ride down the street with a wife and 3 kids, we recognize your vehicle. It's a minivan.
It's also, you can hear it coming because the kids are screaming in the back.
Shout out.
Jalen Rose, we have a simple motto on this show. That motto is... Part of giving the people what they want is opening up our 1-800-FULL-HOURS Twitter feed, getting questions from you, our listeners, and then answering them. Are you ready, Mr. Rose?
Let's get it.
This is from Boy Genius. Jalen, team bus, assigned seats, cool kids in the back, who sat next to the toilet, who controlled the radio, in-bus movies, favorite rest stop. A lot of questions. I believe the question is, on an NBA team bus, are there assigned seats?
There aren't, quote-unquote, assigned seats.
But everybody sits
They're
in the same
reserved
place.
seats.
Everybody sits in the same place every time.
They're reserved seats.
It's like in your regular life, if you're not an NBA player and you have a weekly meeting, everyone sits in the same chairs in the weekly meeting. That's just kind of how it goes, I imagine.
Yes.
Here's a good question. Who sits next to the toilet?
Normally that's in the back. And usually people want to sit in the back.
Exactly. Stay away from the coaches who are in the front, right?
The captains, the best players, the elder statesmen, the vets, not the rookies.
Does anybody blow up the toilet in your NBA career?
No notable blow-ups that I can remember.
Good.
Because you got to handle that. But here's a level of respect. You got to understand. Usually when you're on the bus, you're leaving the arena, going to the airport, so you can handle your business then. Or you're leaving the hotel, going to the bus, and then going to the location. So you have plenty of opportunities to handle your business before you ever get on the bus.
Okay. Who controlled the bus radio is a question.
That was my role in a lot of situations.
Really? Did you just?
Yeah,
did you delegate it to someone else like you do on this show? Did you delegate it to somebody else like you did on this show?
No, I only dedicated it when we stopped giving shout-outs to the people. I'm like, why am I taking 30 minutes to pick out songs deep into albums and CDs?
God, life is so hard for you, Jalen. Next one is from Han Solo Dolo. Do the Pelicans make the playoffs next year? Is Boogie there long term? Two different questions. Let's start with the first one. Do the Pelicans make the playoffs next year? Ooh, Jalen's really thinking here.
Yes, because I'm really only thinking about one spot, the 8th.
Yeah. Right now in the 8th seed, you've got the Portland Trail Blazers. Right outside looking in, you've got the Denver Nuggets. Unless they add someone that plays point guard or shooting guard or 3, they need to add somebody. So I would say, as they're currently constructed, I would say they're definitely not going to make the playoffs next year.
I'm going to throw out a name that they should throw a blank check at, as well as the San Antonio Spurs.
J.J. Redick. I knew it. Do you know who else J.J. Redick would fit nicely on? The Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if they can make the roster, like the salary cap stuff work, but I would love to see Russell just have somebody he could pass to for open shots and then actually go in. Sorry, Robertson. Next.
Sorry, Lonzo LeVar Ball.
Next, we have Smokey Rondo. One of my favorites. One of my favorite tweeters, Smokey Rondo. I looked at Smokey Rondo's handle, and I just realized Smokey Rondo is a female. Shout out to her. Tweet us tomorrow, Woman Crush Wednesday. We'll put your question on there. Smokey Rondo wants to know, would you enjoy an NBA Finals without the Cavs or the Warriors? Absolutely.
This year, I'm anticipating seeing those two teams, so it will be a downer to not see the same two teams face each other in 3 straight NBA Finals, because I've been talking about it since Game 7 ended last year.
I think it's safe to say that would be my most enjoyable matchup in the Finals, but I'm going to enjoy no matter who makes the Finals, because I love the NBA Finals. Next, we have Michael. Do you guys have any advice on dealing with procrastination? Remember that my life probably depends on it. Michael, you just ratcheted up the intensity on that one there.
Wow.
Yeah, like, whoa.
Wow, I feel pressure.
Yeah.
Here's what helps procrastination. As somebody that tries to multitask as well as anybody and get a lot of things done in my personal and professional life, you got to put down that phone.
Yep, put down the phone.
That's what it is. How many times are you calling? How many people are you texting? How many times are you going to look at your Instagram?
No, it's Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I think people just pick up their phone, they go to Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, then they go back to Instagram, back to Twitter, back to Snapchat, and do that over and over and over again all day long. They're not making phone calls. They're not going on the internet and looking up interesting things about chickens that look like dinosaurs. They are just going to Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, not even looking at anybody else's posts, just seeing what people are saying specifically to them. And I know this because that's exactly what I do pretty much 20% of my day.
That's a waste of time.
Yep. Next. This is interesting. It's from Jay Demir. I hope I said your name right, Jimmy. Jimmy D wants to know, what's the best sports venue that you have ever attended? Huh. The best sports venue I've ever attended. I'm gonna
it has to be a prize fight.
Like the actual venue? I think he means like the venue, but I would say like New York City and the marathon. There's a lot of ways you could, the surfing competition at the beach. Like, there's a lot of ways that you could sort of like make this answer silly, but I believe like the best edifice constructed for the playing and watching of sports that you've ever been to. Your favorite sports arena. What would that be?
Favorite sports arena. I was enthusiastic playing in Indiana when Conseco Fieldhouse was constructed. We made the finals that year, and what made it unique is not only did it have the game facility set up, but it also had the practice facility under the same umbrella. The Palace in Auburn Hills was just closed. Got a chance to play there in high school. I would say those are my two favorites.
Here's an interesting question, somewhat related. David wants to know, what are you going to miss more, Joe Louis Arena or the Palace? And do you have a favorite memory from each?
Joe Louis Arena, no doubt. The Palace is about the Pistons. Joe Louis Arena, I played there in high school. Okay? So I got a chance to play Operation Friendship City Championship games there. PSL Championship games there. When I was in high school, we won 3 straight of each. So those are my favorite memories, along with a game that Little Caesars put on, which was a terrific idea by the late, great Mr. Illich, that is. And that was, we had an infrastructure of ACT prep during the day, and then we played basketball during the night, and the championship game was at Joe Louis Arena. It was a classic. I have that on VHS tape. Some of the greatest players of my era were on that game, and I just remember being so enthusiastic, just raining threes, barely looking at the hoop. It was probably the favorite game I've ever played in on any level. And it probably was at Cobo Hall.
Next question that we have is interesting. It's from Jeff. Is Jalen upset that Jay Rose didn't win the Masters? Justin Rose was in a playoff in contention to win the Masters and lost to Sergio Garcia. Do you feel any kinship because he was also named Jay Rose?
No, I feel kinships to the Jalens, not to the Roses.
I think that's fair.
Only the ones in my family, and it's like about 14 of us.
Shout out to all 14 roses.
Shout out.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News.
Thank you.
And, of course, subscribing to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
Thank you. You're far too kind.